Okay, real quickly, I'm going to show a bit about mobile devices and the number of options you have. To some extent, the options also are a function of what kind of computer you have. So the simplest option for sharing mobile devices you've already been seeing. And that is, you've seen mobile devices, the MacBooks that have been used here, and they join just by joining in a session. So this is my iPad, and in one of my windows, you can see me using this. And since it is an iPad, it means that I can also switch to the front camera. And so now you can see Joshua over there. I'm going to switch back. And it also means that you can do things like, I'm going to say, share my screen.
And you note that you have to download the app to your iPad, just like the rest of us do. So that's how he's sharing out his screen.
Okay, so right now you're actually seeing what's on my screen, and pardon the Scottish Festival pictures there. So I could pull up applications. So let's see. Here's Procreate on my iPad, where I could do graphics and stuff like that and draw. If I was interested in sort of doing a take notes, I could go over to something like Word, or in this case, I'm going to bring up Pages and bring up a brand new document. And I could almost use it like a whiteboard, add drawing. And draw and annotate, for example, on top of pictures. Basically, it just becomes a completely mobile platform that, again, I can, I'm going to stop sharing here. And it just goes back to my camera. Okay, so that's one thing. That's universal. It doesn't matter if you have a Surface, if you have an Android phone, whatever mobile device you have, you can get in the session, you can move around and show things and so on. So that's one option. And it also means you can show applications while you're walking around the classroom. You could go to the front camera and focus on a student or on work that the student's doing, something like that.
So Art, will you show them how to share out their camera as well? Because right now, they're actually seeing the camera in the room, but would you share out your camera from an iPad?
Yeah.
We just got a question about that as well, about sharing content from your iPad. So Art's going to reshare his screen, and then he's going to show you what it's like to pull in stuff off a camera.
So I can actually open my camera app. And so you're seeing my screen directly. In fact, I can zoom in. So I'm sharing that directly from the camera, from my front camera, and I could switch and do the back camera too if I wanted. And it would be the same again, whether it was Android or anything else, because that's just an app that's being used to share from the screen. Stop sharing. Okay, now I want to show two other options that, unfortunately, the other two options only work if you have a Macintosh, and only work if you have an iPhone or an iPad. One of those options I can show over here on my MacBook Pro. I actually have an iPhone that's directly connected by a cable, by a lightning cable to the MacBook Pro. So if I say that I want to share my screen, I have a choice that says, well, you can't see it. So I'm not sharing much. Share my desktop. Okay. Zoom. Okay. Why isn't it showing?
So Art's pulling up his laptop right now to share the screen to y'all from another device, just like Lauren and I have been doing. And he has got those pulled up on his menu right now. Go up to the top. There you go.
Okay, so let me start to share it again. Desktop. Share. And
Art's actually pulling up his Zoom session right now.
so I'm saying that what I want to do is, oops. Well, I'm going to go in and shift them.
He's going to skip over that one right now, as he's not going to use the screen share. We were going to show you how you can use a camera plugged directly into the device. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so what I'm looking at now is actually the surface of my iPhone, the front camera on my iPhone. And so just the surface of my iPhone, it's directly hooked up via cable. And that's nice. It works with iPads too. Means you don't really have to share it as a separate, you don't have to join as a separate session. It's just an additional camera. And then for those of you who are scientists or might be interested in looking at very small things, there's actually a mode on iPhones and iPads that lets you do hyper magnification. So I just switched into that, and I'm zooming in on a target where we're seeing 5 millimeters or 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters about across the screen. So this is built into the iPhone. If I was to switch and we pull a leaf, here's a leaf. In fact, I'll turn a light on. I can zoom in and get a fairly nice picture of the leaf at different magnifications and so on. Okay, so that's kind of cool. You can do the same thing on an iPad. Okay, and keep in mind, if I joined my iPhone, I could have joined my iPhone to the session and done this without being attached on a cable. It works fine too. Then it's just that you have to attach it as a separate section. And I'm going to show one more thing here, and that is that there are a variety of USB devices out there. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. There are a variety of USB devices out there, microscopes and things like that, that you can also hook in. So over here, I have what's called a Dino-X USB microscope. And I am going to share that source, a Dino-Light microscope. And hopefully it's going to work. No. Share screen. Well, it worked. Second.
So what he's doing in this case is actually sharing out a camera from his unit from that device. But you may not be able to do that from that device because we're presenting from the classroom station this way. We have to hook it up like the document camera the same way.
Yeah, because it thinks it's actually it thinks it's using that as a source right now, but
It's using that as a source, but it's showing up, actually,
Yeah, no, it's.
It is.
Yeah.
we just need to pin your video, because remember, you're an external user in this case. So if everybody would go to their speaker view and look at gallery mode, if you look at gallery mode and you find Art Busby, you're actually going to see him zoomed into a specific specimen, and you can pin that video and bring that video up. His name will be Art Busby. Yeah, you can spotlight that video. So we're going to try to spotlight the video to have that one highlighted up. But is that what's showing up? Oh, actually, you'd have to stop sharing your screen, Art, because that's what you've got over the screen right now. There you go.
There you go.
So what Art's doing in this case is he's participating as a user, as a student in the case, and he's actually using his microscope and his extra camera functions to share out data. And we've spotlighted that, so users externally should be able to see that. And you can see him right now. He's just zooming in on that 5mm menu that was there, and he's getting that adjusted in his space. So again, this very advanced stuff, things you've got to plan for, but definitely some opportunity to share at different levels. You still getting that one set up?
And I can go in further.
He's going in even further than waiting for it to auto adjust. So you should get some clear lines in just a second. As
I'm
it
not
stops
getting enough
moving.
light with this setup, but this one goes up to 200 times magnification.
And what we did was we asked Art to move his whole lab back over here to set this up. And that's one of the reasons that he doesn't have the light that he needs in that space. But just a demonstration on how you could actually go back and forth with some of these different camera menus. Now we've gone back to actually showing the classroom space camera again, and back to you, Art, again.
Okay. So you can use a variety of USB devices from the mobile platform, whether it's a phone or whether it's a tablet of some sort. You can join in the session, move around the classroom, write notes, run apps off there, and it's very, very nice. Again, you got to remember that you start your session on the instructor machine, on the classroom machine, and then you can join in with as many apps, as many different Zoom sessions as you want. Just switch cameras to different devices. I think that's the main thing I wanted to show on that. It's very powerful to be able to have this kind of mobility, either to show camera pictures, to run apps, and to be able to move around the classroom.
Totally agree. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir.
I'm sure there was something else, but I've forgotten that I'm old.